Peace and love, world. Peace and love. You're now rocking to the sounds and vibrations of your boy Malik Kilam, also known as DonKilam.com. As always, prosperity is your birthright. How y'all feeling out there today? There we go. Making sure we going live for the people, man. Making sure we live. I share this on everywhere. If you ain't got me on the Facebook, man, add me on the Facebook. Ali Malik Kilam Bay. Ali Malik Kilam Bay. Somebody asked me if a bank was black owned. I don't go into anything black owned, baby. Black signifies death. Know that. Chilling with Davina Bay. I see a different little setup today. And I can interact with y'all. I'm on the big screen too, looking at y'all through the big screen. So that's what it is right now. Hope you had a prosperous week. Davina Bay, you want to come talk to the people too today? You just gonna chill. What they want to hear, backed by popular demand.
They want to hear Malik Kilam.
Oh, Malik Kilam about to roll up. And then I'm just checking out the. Let me know what y'all think right now, man. Ashante Johnson. Peace and love. She said she wants to learn about the signature for a car video you did the other day. I don't remember doing no video like that the other day. Two cars in the two documents in the signature. All you need is bills of credit. Study bills of credit. Patrick Devine's letters of credit. As soon as you understand that the United States is under a trust, you're gonna learn some stuff. This letters of credit will make sense for a lot of people. A lot of people. Well, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Now, stay safe. I don't know if you tuned back in because you was on the other lives when I was trying to, get this started, having technical difficulties. Still sponsored by Sweet Thing. I love the smell of it. I love the smell of the premium exotic flowers. Nothing's better than a real woman, though. But Mary Jane is pretty close. Beard Gang Tabernacle, peace and love, family. How y'all feeling out there? A little bit over the half moon. Hope y'all are accomplishing y'all's goals and really visualizing what you set forth in your new moon goals. If you understand and understand energy and do that type of thing. I typed in the coupon code for DonKilam.com. It's for 50% off throughout the summer. That's 976-430-LA. 976-430-LA. I appreciate everybody that's been dropping donations and acquiring all the ebooks that we have right now on DonKilam.com. We have more on the way. A great read right now during times like this would be Behold the Pale Horse. It talks about exactly what they do under martial law. If you're considered a color, especially black, like they said, Black Lives Matter is now a terrorist group, correct? Is that?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So they're trying to label a couple groups, but Black Lives Matter is one. So if you consider black, like FEMA camp can come get you. FEMA gonna come get you. That's why it's important to have your status corrected properly. This is very important. This is more than important. FEMA will come pick you up. If a lot of people don't understand, it was declared martial law. We've been under martial law, but on the public side, we've been under martial law since Abraham Lincoln, to be honest. But during Hurricane Katrina, we was under martial law, and a lot of black people came up missing. Peace and love, King Khan. Peace and love. Peace and love. So I just want to make this known, like, does martial law? Start looking into this stuff, man. History always repeats itself. History always repeats itself. But you know, when stuff is being torn down, it will be rebuilt again. So it's gonna be our time to rebuild. There's gonna be plenty of insurance claims being made right now. This is exactly what they want to happen. Everything's done by divine design, and I hope you guys understand that. Divine design, baby. I don't know if I'm gonna go through a lecture with y'all today. I'm gonna go through one of the ebooks that I actually have. It is gonna be based on creditors and their bonds. If anybody is familiar with that, creditors and bonds. Let me know if y'all can hear me good and clear too. It seems like it because I was on the TV. It seems like I can hear myself loud and clear. Massive God Squad, peace and love. Clearing, everything's clear and free. Prosperity is your birthright. Prosperity is your birthright. Everything is clear and free. You just gotta know how to issue your own trust. You have to know bookkeeping. You're gonna have to know your own bookkeeping. You're gonna have to have a fair understanding of negotiable instruments and securities. You're gonna have see, when you learn about affidavits, that's just the beginning. Then you have to learn how they convert your energy, how they convert negotiable instruments into securities, because this is how they actually get the sweat equity off of you. It's really considered a form of so-called magic, to be honest. Spelling is truly spell casting. So when they say mortgage is a pledge to the dead. That is a spell. If you're pledging something to the dead, that's a spell. You know? So they understand the ancestors. So they pledge to their ancestors and what their ancestors stood for. Hope y'all follow me on that. Once you know the game, you don't have to worry about anything. And that's facts. I found the paper. Yeah, and the PDF for the see, with the houses is different. It's a little bit different. It's not just really letters of credit. You're gonna have to issue a promissory note. A promissory note. All right. Understand who your ancestors are, and start talking to your ancestors, because your ancestors got stuff established as well in the ethers. It's a true bond or true trust and commerce with your higher power, higher self, and that's what it's all about. Baby, that's what it's all about. Y'all know, check me out, man. I went golf. I was on the green today. Check me out. Check out. Little golf. Yeah. Hey, I didn't even realize how, I didn't even know that I was going to be good at golf, you know? My family played baseball, though, so maybe that's where I got my swing from, you know? No, I didn't get the kite today. I didn't get that today. I've been busy. I kicked it today. Met one of my friends, you know. Really family. Bookkeeper, accountant. Sat down with them. Went over a few things. He and ha for a second, you know. Caught up. They just got them exclusive new rides, SUV Suburban. So shout out to that, because they deserve it. I used to sleep in her camper. You understand? They used to be in a camper with 2 kids and 4 adults. A little small camper. So to see them shining and grinding, that's what's up. Talking about acres. They stay on acres. Acres. You know? Private property. You know, we're talking about how they was looting in Tampa. Prosperity is my birthright. Peace and love. So they got the baby blue on, shining. Peace and love. Peace and love. Maceo Pink. This ain't the place to be trying to schedule calls on a public platform. That's the stuff that I be talking about, man. Timothy Law and peace and love. People be trying to call me out on a public platform. You gotta get in line just like everybody else, man. And really, the coaching calls are gonna be with Davina Bay. Those are the coaching calls are gonna be scheduled with. If you're a DonKilam.com member, I'm gonna get you in there. You know, I'm gonna get you taken care of. You know, I got credit with Davina Bay right now. It's not like that every day, but right now I got credit. And she does keep her word, so yeah.
Only think they're looting right
It's just all about me shooting that schedule over to her. Getting the processes together. You said because they're looting right now. They want to see you too, baby. Come on through. Come talk to the people. Our brother.
They want to see me.
They want to see your beautiful face. See, this is a whole different section of the house we haven't showed you guys yet. I just figured I'd go chill on this section. We got two different sides. We got a his and a her side. This is her side. And I'm over here chilling. I learned that affirmations are important. I said, peace be upon the nation, because knowing thyself is to bring heaven to earth. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. There's a lot of quotes out there that you haven't heard. There's a lot of quotes that came from Prophet Noble Drew Ali that they'll give it to somebody else like Einstein or somebody else, which is messed up. A fast-paced learning boot camp. All my services can be found online at DonKilam.com. All the group studies can be found at DivineNationals.net. You know, people think that you can just get handed a bunch of stuff overnight and then you're going to have it down pat and key. It's not like that. You have to have a level of understanding. Like, I've had all this knowledge for a very long time, but yet I was sitting on my ass broke. I had knowledge for a very long time, but yet I was still sleeping under bridges, sleeping in cars, man. So I had to really had to sit down and gain clarity within myself. Go ahead, back.
No, I just wanted to say your level of like clarity and understanding, I feel like it comes from knowing the information from the beginning. So somebody said something about like the study group being like a beginner course, so I feel like you need to know these beginner things in order to actually have a full and clear understanding of all this information. Okay.
You already talking about you got your raps in here?
Yeah, there's some on the counter over there.
Yeah, talk to the people. Let them know about your group again and why they should join up.
DivineNationals.net study group every month, twice a month. Last Friday and Saturday of the month starts at 7:30, but it will begin approximately at 7:45. You guys should join the study group simply because it is basics, but these are things that you should know, that you need to know in order to grasp.
These are the steps people be missing.
The whole understanding. Yeah, I feel like when you skip through the basics and you try to make an attempt to go get a house or to go get a car and then you fail, don't blame us, because it's not my fault that you missed the basics. It's not my fault. It's just like in math class. If you don't know how to do 1 + 1, you might have issues when it comes to 2 times 2. Might have some issues. You feel me? So I just feel like you need to know all the basics first. Once you have a clear understanding of all the basics, boom, then you can move forward. Intermediate. Once you have the intermediate, boom, you feel me? You just keep moving levels and levels, and you only can get higher on those levels through a study group, because 6 heads are better than 4.
Tell them about Rome. Rome wasn't what?
Rome was not built in a day. It was not built overnight. So you want to get this understanding, you want to get this information, not only from me, but from other people in the group who have maybe tried some things and it didn't work out for them, or they tried some things and it did work out for them, or they have some advice on something that they think would maybe work for you, or maybe something that you want to do that they've done already. I don't know. It's just, I feel like there's a bunch of different options when it comes to the study group, because I'm one person, he's one person, that's only two people, but if you have six people, I'm sure your question can get answered a lot faster, a lot more sufficient, and accurately, you feel me? Because I'm definitely going to, yes, thank you. I enjoy the study group just because I like to go over the basics because it helps me understand everything in the whole, everything as a whole. So to me, the basics, like, I don't know, that it going over the basics helps everything make sense altogether for me because it just, strong foundation. That's what Slang was saying. Yeah, strong foundation. So, shout out Slang. You feel me? For understanding that. Because if you do not have a strong foundation, go try to build your house on a foundation full of sand. And then, see what happens. Yeah, might not last. But, everybody wants to learn the quick and easy and the fast way. And I mean, that's cool. Like, we can do all your paperwork for you. We can do everything for you. That's great. But if they come knocking at your door and all the paperwork was done for you and you don't exactly know what it says or how to invoke it or even how to pronounce a few words, you might have some issues. You feel me? You might have issues, and all I'm saying is don't call me because your paperwork is done. You feel me? I don't know. I don't got nothing to do with it. Yeah, you got to schedule a coaching call, and how hard that may be from your position, I don't know. But again, that don't got nothing to do with me. All I'm gonna say is, you should have been at the study group trying to understand this information. Because these people will come and knock on your door. They will come and ask you questions.
Especially with foreign 98 numbers.
Yeah, especially when you're messing with 498 numbers and UCCs and all that. Man, you better know what you're doing. You better know what you're doing because they're going to come knock, and you better know. You better know. Because just because you paid us to do your paperwork, you can't pay us to be there. I mean, you can, but maybe not at that exact moment, you feel me? You know. Yeah. Like Jesus, you feel me? We ain't there when you want, but we on time. It's loud. But, yeah, no, my brain is, I'm sure if my brain could, like, have a physical, like, what it would physically look like, it would be cluttered, it would be a mess, there would be stuff everywhere. But it's organized though. Y'all ever met those people that are like super messy, but it's organized in their head? So you ask them where something is and they can just pull it right out. Thank you, Taj Mahal Jubilee Bay. I appreciate that. I love my study group too. Yeah, I'm not gonna, if I mess up y'all's names, excuse me. I do my best to pronunciate and enunciate as well as possible. But these names, baby. Ooh, I got a cousin, she got a funny name. I said, what is your mama's name, child? She said her name is Sally. Oh, okay, cool. That's a simple name, but why she named you that then? Like, I don't really know, but I'm trying not to judge these people for their names and titles or whatever. But I like my study group because I like to go over the tax exempt process. I think that's the first step. That's the most basic step to understand that not only is this stuff real, but it actually works.
I agree. A lot of people don't utilize that.
So for me, like when I first started finding out about all this information, I was like telling people, like, oh, that's not true. Boom. Well, easy way to like let somebody know that this stuff is real. Tax exemption.
Yeah.
Tax exempt. Like if I go anywhere and I show you right in your face, boom, I'm tax exempt, and shit, you're not tax exempt. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It is private information, but you.
Some people get scared and just start talking regardless.
Yeah. Some people, they do what I like to call volunteer information.
Yes, Islam.
Yeah, so they didn't ask you all these questions. You start volunteering all this information and putting yourself under their jurisdiction. And boom, they got you.
Tell me about the old lady in the projects. How they got her.
The old lady in the project.
Yeah, remember she signed the program. She thought it was part of a program.
I remember
And they were
vaguely. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this woman, this old lady, they're out to. Yeah, okay, so look, there was this woman, and she was a part of this housing program. She was like an elderly lady, like a senior citizen or whatever. And she let the police inside of her house because they said that they were coming to do just like a regular, search, or not even. They weren't even doing a search. They were just doing like a safety check to let her know that they were
guns or something in the house.
Yeah, to let her know that they were watching the community or whatever. They wanted to make sure there were no guns in the house. So they asked her if they could search the house, and she's like, "Yeah, you feel me? No problem. I don't have no guns or anything in here." They searched the house, find some weed. She says it's not hers. They said they don't care. They locked her up anyways. Now when she got locked up, they charged her with possession of marijuana. And because she was on this little housing stuff or whatever, they saw that, and they have a no drug policy. So boom, guess what? Evicted, like all that just based off a simple, "Hi, how you doing? We're just in the neighborhood." Like, do not let these people in your house. Like, you do not have to answer the door. Shoot, I pretend I'm not there. If they, I will talk to them through the window. "I can hear you, sir. I do not need to open this door. I've been watching the news. Y'all been out here killing people. I'm scared for my life. Nobody I know that is a friend of mine will come to my door with a gun on their hip. So, I'm sorry, but you're scaring me. Like, I'm scared for my life. And everybody's like this in this house. So, boop. Just like that. But yeah, this stuff is, I like the tax exemption process though, because everybody doesn't know about it. It's not something, well, I'm going to say everybody doesn't know about it because that's a contradictory statement, and I don't like to do that like some people. But everybody does know about tax exemption because, yes, they tricked out a lady with words. They said, "Oh, it's just a simple little check. It's just a simple little, we're just letting you know that we're in the neighborhood and we're just checking for guns." If y'all are just checking for guns, then anything else y'all find shouldn't be valid. But nope, it's valid. They locked her up. Peace and love, Chickistry Bay. But yeah, I like the tax exempt process because they do know about it because there's a tax exempt day, and so and it's actually coming up pretty soon. If I'm not mistaken.
A couple bucks.
Yeah, you feel me? So they definitely know about it. It's the fact of, I just feel like lack of training, which is why, yeah, I'm tax exempt too. Which is why I feel like more people should know about this process, because the more people that know about this process and go out and practice the process, the more familiar they'll be with it, and it'll be easier. You feel me? And then that's boom, one less thing that we gotta have an issue about. Next thing we can do is go and get a house with no problem, and we won't have no issues about it. You feel me? Like, most of the stuff that we do, like, okay, so I hear a lot of people saying that this is closed and that is closed. Something we do is online. They are still allowing you to go online. If they are holding virtual court, like court online, it is not closed. That is a facade. That is just something to make you get scared and think all these crazy things. No, and just stop your process and just for you to be on halt. They are still doing everything. Everything is open. You do it online. Do everything online. You don't want to be out. I personally don't want to be out there in their face anyway. Because, yeah, you feel me? If the mail is still running, it still works. Everything is open. Because did we get mail yesterday? Yeah, we just got mail yesterday. So everything is still open to my understanding. So
Where we at anyway?
yeah, at least where we're at. You feel me? With this private life. I haven't actually seen anything closed down. So
Well, outside our gates, there is a curfew. Outside the gates, there is a curfew. So, where we're at, Orange County. In Orange County, it's 10 p.m. Tampa is, what did they say, 7?
7 p.m.
7?
Yeah.
So 7 in Tampa. Orlando is 10. Yeah, man. And roll off with the Vina Bizza. Here you go, baby. You in tune with the Most High, so you'll know anything I say cannot be used against me. Because I'm in tune with the Most
We
High.
are not licensed tax attorneys or experts or anything of that matter. If you need legal counsel, please seek some.
Please.
You're not it.
No. At all.
Competent
Let's see. Somebody just gave a donation on the PayPal. Sophia Superville, she sent us another donation.
Hey.
Peace of love, all the way from Albany, New York. Appreciate your donation on the PayPal. And if you find our information valuable, go to donkalam.com/donate.
Okay, Massive God Squad, go ahead then. Stand on your square, enforce your rights. Let them know. They was at the wrong place.
You're not welcome here.
Unless you call them to assist you with some type of emergency, they're not for you. Because when they come to me, I say, I don't believe I called you. I don't need none of your services.
Islam. I'm gonna pull up the I don't know why it don't be showing Islam when they be commenting. It be trying to hide it. Yeah, it tries to filter it. So, we're gonna go over some stuff today. You can talk to them still. To the world. So y'all can still comment. Davina will talk to y'all. So, a lot of people went over this already. They might have seen us. We have a different version with extra stuff. It's 141 pages. You can go to donkalam.com for this PDF. Can I get the lighter? But it's creditors and the bonds. And you must know, in every case, a bond represents a debt. It's a holder. Its holder is a creditor of the corporation and not a part owner as is the shareholder. The word bond is sometimes used more broadly to refer as to an unsecured debt instrument. So a lot of people don't really realize that a birth certificate means title of ownership. So a birth certificate being created is evidence of a bond, which is evidence of a debt. It's a bond. So we know a true bond in commerce is one with your higher power and higher spirit. So they intervene and you basically sold your soul to the devil. So this bond, this birth certificate, this bond, this evidence of a debt is stamped with the sole of your foot. It's stamped with your soul. So on the record, you stamped it. You signed it with your soul.
This bond. So that's this bond. So something like maybe this contract.
On the record, you signed it with your soul. Now, definitions that are going to be used here are generally from the Black's Law Dictionary 6th edition. I like the 4th edition, which can also be found on donkalam.com. Now, the bond supporting credit authorizations. This bond is the debt side of the implied contract that resulted when your grandparents took all their gold to the Federal Reserve Banks by May 1st, 1933. It might have been your great-great-grandparents, you know? A bond is always evidence of a debt. It can be a liability to the debtor or an asset to the creditor. So when there's a bond, it's really for your benefit because you're the actual creditor. But they make you believe that you're the debtor. This bond is also the implied debt that resulted when you applied for a birth certificate for new entities. Strawman, you requested that the states create when you had your babies. You put a description of your baby on the application. This tied the baby and the strawman together as long as the described baby man lived. When the man dies, the straw man is terminated by the state with a death certificate. So with a death certificate, it no longer has commercial energy without the man. Straw man. Straw man is a front, a third party who is put up in the name only to take part in a transaction. A nominal party to a transaction. One, the all capitalized name John, we're going to say John Doe. John, who acts as an agent for another, the lowercase name John, for the purpose of taking title to real property and executing whatever documents and instruments the principal, which would be the actual man, may direct respecting the property. The person or the estate who purchases property for another, the natural man, to conceal identity or real purchasers or to accomplish something that is otherwise not allowed. So you cannot mix the public and the private. So on the private would be the actual person, and the public is the fiction world. That's what can't talk. It needs somebody to make it move. It's like chess. If you have a title, it needs somebody to make the title move. And it's your job to make people even respect your title, so to speak, you know. So implied partnership is one which is not a real partnership, but which is recognized by the court as such because of the conduct of the parties. The defendant trusts you as a trustee, as a defendant surety. In effect, the parties are stopped from denying the existence of a partnership. That is a dishonor. This bond is also the implied debt that resulted when you applied for a title to a car, a mortgage, or any other loan that resulted in collateral being registered with the state. So again, this bond is also the implied debt that resulted when you applied for a title to a car, a mortgage, or any other loan that resulted in collateral being registered with the state. So you cannot be required to pledge your substance, but you can voluntarily pledge it to help through its bankruptcy status, helping to help the bankruptcy status. So a pledge is a bailment. And what is a bailment? A bailment is a delivery of goods or personal property by one person, which is a bailer or the straw man, to another bailee or the state in trust for the execution of a special object, exemption upon or in relation to such goods. If you do not volunteer, you may be given choices to make it easier for you to volunteer, but you must always do this voluntarily. You are not asked to give your substance, only to pledge it, while you keep possession of the substance. In return, you get the implied bond. The straw man received a social security number. The correlating private side number is the exemption number. The same digits, just no dashes. So your private exemption number to make you a creditor is the social with no dashes. And this is how they operate on the private side with your instruments, and begin to convert these negotiable instruments into securities. They group them together, and that's how they create the CUSIP number. Now, the straw man is a creation of the debtor corporation, so it's presumed to be an officer, agent, or employee of the debtor corporation. It must file tax returns. It must follow all the corporate rules and regulations within public law. Unless you take it out of commerce, you got to follow public law. Unless you've already directed the affairs of your straw man, you better be filing them damn taxes. That's all I'm saying. Unless you got it on the record that you're tax exempt. Because if you got a birth certificate and you haven't filed correct paperwork on your straw man or your corporation and done it correctly, you're in dishonor. The man, on the other hand, is not a creation of the debtor corporation, but is the presumed representative of the straw man.
Some suggested books will be on donkalam.com.
We can go through some. I'll pull some up right now. So this is a book from my mom right now. I'm actually utilizing
A Pale Horse. That's a good book. We have a bunch of PDFs on donkalam.com for y'all to download.
there will be more heritage books on the way.
Peace and love, say.
That's going to be on divinenationals.net coming soon. Should be coming up sometime this week. I will pull up some of the books right now since you want to know. We'll take a quick break to go over that. If you haven't, check it out. I have put the 50% off code in the description. So some of these books are little or nothing, man. We just ask for a small donation. Respect us for putting it up, you know. So we have Passing the Buck Volume 2. Look this up. This is the first book on the book list. This is a $1,000 trust book. It goes over trusts, wills, and blueprints, okay? And it's for $50. Use the code $25 donation. Next would be America's Hope, to cancel your bank loans without going to court, by Thomas Schoaf, okay? And these books, like I said, are a little bit of nothing, man. $10 donation for that. With the code, that's $5. Another book, Top Secret Banker's Manual by Thomas Schoaf. Okay, we got Cracking the Code, the 3rd edition. I really love this book. This is a $1,200 value if you look at it on Amazon. And we do put links on for the actual authors to support the authors, because we're putting these on here at a discounted price because it's used for informational purposes only. Fruits of a Poisonous Tree. That's going to be by Mel Stamper. And that's a great book. It's going to break down secrets that were never to be revealed. That's exactly what it says. I can't make this up. Now, trying to go back. My private book collection. This is my private book collection. I would say my favorite book, though, is actually not on here. I really like The Alchemist, but it has nothing to do with this. It's more of a spiritual book. I learned things from a spiritual aspect. We have Think and Grow Rich on there. We have the another redemption manual. Private and Equity Secrets. This is the second edition by Peter Cartier. We have a Trustee on the Law Concerning Names and Changes of Name by Fox David Arthur Charles. Then we have the Rothschild's Money Trust. I got a Notice to Police on there. The 1,000 Paper Cut Technique. You really want to check this out. This is your right to claim your home free and clear through administrative procedures. It's a great read. And then I have Traveling Without Registration. How to travel lawfully with your car without registration. Learn how to put it in trust. And that goes in my next book, Trust Kits for Dummies, you know. And Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper, $2. We got the Black Laws Dictionary, 4th edition. We got Contract Law for Dummies on there. Another course, no Equity and Trust. Another book, De Facto Government, check that out. The Ancient Secrets of the Flower of Life. The Federal Mafia. The Federal Zone, that's another book, Cracking the Code. History of the Moorish Empire in Europe. Lawfully Yours, this is a great read. This is the People's Empowerment Guide to our Corporate Commercial Legal System. These are some great reads, man. You do not want to miss these, man. You really want to check this out. I have a whole template. I want to say a whole book, Mailing as a Sovereign Republic Nation. And it's 238 pages. 238 pages with tons of samples on how to, United States is a corporation. Learn how to live without the zip codes and spelling out the states. Like, learn how to send mail for free. Another great read is How I Clobbered Every Bureaucrat Cash Confiscation Agency Known to Man by Mary Elizabeth Croft. Great read. There's plenty. There's more. There's much more. Check it out. We got stuff on there for beginners. Policy manual. I got doctrines on there. Stuff about the Wizard of Oz. How to represent your court if you want to look at it from the statute perspective, man. How to prepare and have a winning case. The Executor's Guide. More trust books. More books on cracking the code. And what I'm going over now, creditors and the bonds. But the main book on there, the best book, is Access Your TD Account, Unlimited Credits by Patrick Devine. This is the best book because this is going to show you. This is going to break it down how to access and get that black card, how to access that unlimited credit. And then check out the memberships. We go over everything with you. We always, with Davina Bay, how we have it set up, we got, get the files, you can get the templates, or you can get the templates and we'll do it with you, or we'll do it for you and still give you the coaching, however you want to do it. Now back to the, I hope that answers some of y'all's questions. So I still send all my documents. They're still picking up mail. They're still picking up mail, all right? We're sending mail. I got green cards around here somewhere. They're still collecting mail. Mail hasn't stopped. So bond for discharge. Just know your private instruments are backed by the bond when you're dealing with these corporations. Now, the front side is the public and the back side is the private. Nothing's backed by gold any longer. We used to have gold certificates. When you go in the court, they're going to issue you a appearance bond. That's evidence of a debt. They're issuing you this appearance bond. You don't have to consent to that. Yeah, what I have for you says, this is a bond that assures you will appear in a court proceeding. It is not a catch-all bond that covers everything that will come up in the case. To get the appearance bond, you have to give your word, which is your bond, that you will appear to finish settling the accounting. It is issued by the hearing officer. If it is requested and if there is no controversy, and you are honorable enough not to start arguing with the hearing officer or the complainant or the prosecuting attorney, you can get this bond. There must be no controversy. That fact is established by your voluntary act of accepting the charging instrument by value and returning it. In doing so, you are exchanging your exemption, your credit, for the discharge of the charges. You are bonding your pledge to appear and settle. If it were not voluntary, that would be bondage. You must tell the hearing officer that you are not disputing any of the facts. And this is important. Now, a dispute is a conflict or a controversy, an assertion of a right, a claim, or demand on one side, met by a contrary claim or allegation of the other. So the matter for which a suit is brought and upon which issue is joined, in relation to which jurors are called and witnesses are examined. Once you ask for the bond, it is yours. If you ask for it again, it will appear that you do not know you already have it, and the hearing officer will proceed as though he is talking to a debtor straw man. A debtor straw man does not automatically get an appearance bond. It may be required to pay for a bail bond. An appearance bond with conditions incorporates a cost to you. My word is my bond, and I'll be damned if I allow you to extort it on the record. That's all you have to say. And that's how you usually do me too. Like peace and love. We appreciate the donation, Sweet Lou Bass. What I want to say is Davina Bay, she's good at, you better not repeat yourself. If you ask her the same question twice, she ain't, the answer might change on your ass. That's how she rolls too. And that's how it should be.
I just feel like if you ask a question more than like 2 or 3 times, like you're obviously asking for a different answer. So I'm going to give you that different answer so you can move on. Now, obviously it's under duress or threat, but you know, we can move on now.
I would go over some of the bonds with you too, because it's important that you got to start learning what these bonds are. So I'm taking this right now from Stop the Pirates right now, and this is where it came across my eyesight before I started studying mortgages and securities and stocks and brokers and titles. This was put in front of my face. I kept saying surety. We all know what a surety is and surety bond. See, they put the straw man as a surety, and you are the principal. So when you start studying contracts, you start studying trust, this stuff is going to make sense. Your straw man is a corporation. You put that up as a surety because that corporation is going to generate an income. I'll just let that sink in for a second. Your straw man name, your all capitalized name, your name that's spelled in all capitalized letters is created into a corporation. That corporation is going to generate a current or a currency or income. That's what they're after. Because you're a bank, you're generating income. You could be generating income for your benefit, but you're generating it for their benefit. Islam? Did I word it correctly?
No,
is it dumbed down enough?
No, you said it right.
Is it dumbed down enough?
It's alright.
Alright, so a surety means kind of like a collateral, like it's gonna there's money attached to it. There's a value attached to it. So, and you're the principal. Your lowercase name would be the principal. So when you fill out a performance bond, which is a reinsurance bond for a bid bond, you will put yourself down as the guarantor. How do you say that?
Guaranteer?
The guarantor. It's a trust word, but you're the creator. Or the reinsurer. The performance bond is only $274 to file, but if you're Davina Bay, you're not even going to file that. You're not even going to pay that. Send there as a dollar money order, and they're going to accept it. Promissory note.
If they don't accept it, then it's still paid for.
We'll give them a $274 promissory note from our trust. Now, you can underwrite the bid bond with the performance bond. If you're in the district court, such as child support, you type in the case number, and it will tell you how much your bond is. Use the QSIM number, which is a 9-digit number on the back of your social security number. It's in red or blue numbers. Now, these are just bonds. I'm going over stuff with court. This is for court. Let me find it, man. So, I am going to shout out Jeff Anderson. He's put out a lot of great information out there on Stop the Pirates blogspot. You know, I don't hate on anybody. I learned a lot from this man. I don't know if he's actually utilizing this stuff because he look a little broke. So if y'all want to go to him and drop him a little donation, do that. But I don't know if he's utilizing this stuff or what he's doing. But he's got some of the stuff down. He's got some of the stuff down when it comes to bid bonds. Okay, he doesn't go into deep detail. But he put some valuable information out there, and he'll tell you how the United States are collateral against the national debt. And once you grasp this basic understanding of bookkeeping, has bookkeeping helped you understand this other stuff a little bit better?
It's giving me like a better idea of how it was constructed in a way.
Bookkeeping has been around for centuries. I'm looking exactly for what I'm trying to get up to you. There it goes, right there. To win in court, you must redeem the bond. All right, now. So, what they're doing in these courts, let me make sure everybody said he's been around for a good one, and Jeff Anderson, yes, he has. So what they're doing in these courts, it's all about the bonds. So when you go into the courtroom after you're arrested, they use two different sets of bonds. What they do when you're arrested, they fill out a bid bond. The United States District Court uses these forms. Standard Form 273, Standard Form 274, and Standard Form 275. This is the United States District Courts. The state courts do this too because they hand it all over to the district courts because that's where they get their funding. And I want to give the disclaimer, we're not licensed attorney or tax experts. We do this for educational and informational purposes only. I am an ordained minister, so is Davina Bay. We are ordained ministers. There is another set of bonds. And they're all put out by the General Services Administration, which is called the GSA, the General Services Administration. They're all alphabet boys. The GSA form is 24, and this is the bid bond. Everyone should have a copy of the bid bond. And the performance bond is Standard Form 25. The payment bond is Standard Form 25A. And they're all put out by the GSA. So what they are doing with these bonds is going on in the courtrooms is they are suing you for a debt collection. So if you look at these bonds, every one of these bonds, the bid bond, the performance bond, the payment bond, all have a penal sum attached to it. The reason for the penal sum is you don't pay the debt. You go into default judgment. And this is with any corporation. This is what they do. When they issue you a debt, it's really an administrative process. It's just like court. So, like when you go in and argue jurisdiction and refuse to answer questions that the judge or the court addresses to you, they will find you in contempt of court and they will put you in jail. What they do is arrest you, then they hold you basically until the suit has been completed. Once they get default judgment on you because of your failure to pay the debt, they put you in prison. The attorneys are there to create a smoke screen. What attorneys have been trained to do is to lead you into dishonor or default judgment. Then the court puts you into prison. Then they sell your default judgment. So this is taking that negotiable instrument and converting it into a security now, because they're selling it. Who do they sell it to? Believe it or not, they sell it to the United States District Courts. They buy all the state court judgments. We do not know why anyone has not found this out before. There are about 300 reinsurance companies that buy these bonds. They are all insurance companies. These are the people that are buying these bonds when you went to default judgment, and they cannot buy these bonds unless they are certified by the Secretary of the Treasury. So what they are doing with these bonds, they have regulations governing these bonds. There are about 2,000 regulations governing these bonds. Commercial paper, negotiable instruments, anything you put your signature on is a negotiable instrument under the Uniform Commercial Code, which is mercantile civil law. The reason why they use this in the courtroom is because every one of you are under merchants at law, and merchants at law is anyone who holds themselves out to be an expert. Because you use commercial paper on a daily basis, you are considered to be an expert. Because you use Federal Reserve notes every day on a daily basis. It's a Federal Reserve note, so you're considered a tax expert. This is also why they are not telling you what is really going on in the courtrooms. You're presuming to know this stuff because you hold yourself out to be an expert by using commercial paper every day. Every time you put your signature on a piece of paper, you are creating a negotiable instrument. Some are negotiable instruments and some are non-negotiable and some are negotiable. Every time you endorse something, you are acting as an accommodation party or an accommodation maker under UCC 3-419. Again, every time you endorse something, you are acting as an accommodation party or an accommodation maker under UCC 3-419. An accommodation party is someone who loans their signature to another party. If you read UCC 3-419, it tells you what an accommodation maker is and what an accommodation party is. When you loan your signature to them, they can then rewrite your signature on any document they want, and that's exactly what they're doing. Are you pulling it up? No. So, anytime you sign something, they can loan out your signature after that. You gave them your power of attorney. So what the federal courts are doing is they are buying these state court default judgments called criminal cases to cover up what they are doing. Actually, they are civil cases. If you read the clerk's praxis, you find what they call criminal is all civil. They just call it criminal to cover up what they're doing. If you don't pay the debt, you go to prison, bottom line. And trust me, I know, I've been there. Everybody's feeding off the prison system. All of the major corporations are feeding off the prison system. Now, how many of you have heard of the Real Estate Investment Trust, or the REIT, or the PZN, which means prison trust? Prisoners are considered real estate. They own all the real estate because they hold the bonds on them. You haven't redeemed your bonds, so they didn't close your account. You always have to redeem the bonds. So here's what's going on. A contractor comes in, or any corporation can come in and tender a bid bond to the United States District Court, and they buy up these court judgments. And every time you issue a bid bond, there has to be a reinsurer. So they get a reinsurance company to come in and act as surety for the bid bond. Then they bring in a performance bond. All of these bonds, bid bond, payment, and performance, are all surety bonds. And anytime you issue a bid bond, it has to have a surety guaranteeing or reassuring the bid bond via issuing a performance bond. Then they get an underwriter that would be either an investment broker or an investment banker. They come in and underwrite the performance bond, which is reinsuring the bid bond. What does the underwriter do with the performance bond? The underwriter takes the three bonds and pulls them and creates what is known as mortgage-backed securities. When you pull these MBSs, mortgage-backed securities, they are called bonds and are sold to a company called TBA, which is the Bond Market Association, which is an actual corporation. These converted bonds, now MBS, are investment securities and being sold on the international level. The CCA, look up the CCA. It is the Correctional Association, is one of the tickers on the New York Stock Exchange. Others include CWX, CWD, and CWG, but look up the CCA. When it goes to Frankfurt, or the CWG, when it goes to Berlin, or the CWD, and so on. Remember, everything is commercial. So under 7211.7 CFR says that all crimes are commercial. If you read that carefully, it says kidnapping, robbery, extortion, murder, etc. are all commercial crimes. Thus, you are funding the whole enchilada simply because you got into default judgment when you went into court and failed to redeem the bond. I'm saying it again. Kidnapping, robbery, extortion, murder, etc. are all commercial crimes. This is why people don't win in court, because they don't redeem the bond. You are the principle upon which all money circulates, but you don't want to start arguing with the court about that. They are drafting you for performance. So anytime the court asks you to do something, they are drafting you for performance. And if you don't perform, you go into dishonor by non-acceptance. So you have to accept it and then issue a proof of claim. They are making a formal presentment under UCC 3-501. And they can charge you, and they use the word charge. They use the same commercial words on your indictment, information, and complaint. They use the word charge. They always say charge or charges. Be as gentle as a dove and wise as a servant. You can't act like an insurgent or belligerent. If you do, they will treat you like one, and they'll beat your ass. What you want to always do is settle the account. It's always bookkeeping.
Full settlement and closure.
Full settlement and closure. You want to balance the assets and liabilities. It's all about balances. That's what the lady's there for. Holding up. She can't even see you. Lady Justice can't even see you. But she got the scales, baby. We're going to settle this. We're going to balance this debt. Yin and the yang, baby. You got to be the positive. They're the negative. You're the creditor. They're the debtor. Debtor. You're the creditor. They're the debtor. They're trying to get your credit. So, with conditional acceptance, you might say, I'm more than happy to give you my name if you can show that charging papers have been put into the court record. I have not seen any papers that show any charges exist. Sometimes they tell me, do you understand your charges? How do you plead? I plead guilty to the facts, but not the crime. So, with conditional acceptance, you accept the charge, but make them prove their claim, okay? Now, a negative averment, what you're doing is rebuting the presumption that they have charges against you. They work off presumptions. They don't have to have anything. You must rebuke the presumptions. So, as for full settlement and closure of the account, it's your money, what they create, and the same thing is going on in the banks and with these bonds. They monetize these bonds. The reason why you have to have an attorney is because I don't really use attorneys, but sometimes if you feel like you need a mouthpiece in there, I would get a trust attorney. All right? If you get a criminal attorney, they're going to label you as a criminal. Always get a trust attorney if you're going to deal with one. Jeff Anderson said he does use attorneys. I do and I don't. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Just depends on your level of expertise. But I would never get a criminal attorney, because that's gonna label you a criminal. But it's fictional law. They do listen to attorneys. If you can get one to work for you, appoint him to make you hold on in due course. Now, if you do get legal counsel or a co-counsel, whatever, make sure you file a letter of rogatory or a letter of advice. This is also called an acceptance for honor, and you want an accounting and what the total amount of the bill is post-settlement and closure of this account. Then you can give your CUSIP number if you choose, and your case number. Here's what he says he would do on the record. I accept your charges for value and consideration in return for post-settlement and closure of the case number. Boom. Then your account number with your social. And your CUSIP number on the back if you choose to do so. Please use my exemption for full settlement and closure of this account, as this account is prepaid and exempt from levy. Sometimes you can say you understand your charge. I'll overstand my charge because I am tax exempt. Me and Davina Bay has went over just within the last week about the letter of rogatory.
Yeah, and the dispute letter.
And do you feel why it's important? Like, you want to tell them why you feel that stuff's important? Especially the ones that we utilize. We've handcrafted because you went over mine and even made it better.
Yeah, the dispute letter. I like the dispute letter because it talks about the depository. What is the name of that?
Trust company?
The depository trust
I'll
company.
pull it up. You want to pull it up?
Yes, and I just pretty much like list all the facts of like undisputable evidence against them. And I feel like that's really what you need when it comes to the court case. Like, you need undisputable and undeniable evidence. So with this dispute letter, it's just, I don't feel like it's anything that they can dispute really. So just list all the facts, and if they can't prove each and every fact or reason behind it, then it's void.
With our dispute letters handcrafted by Don Kilam and Davina Bay, you have to let them know I'd be happy to settle any financial obligations I might lawfully owe as soon as I've received the following documentation from you. And we also utilize this in court situations, but make sure you have full understanding before you try to implement tools. So you need validation of the debt, which is the actual accounting, and verification of your claim, which is a sworn affidavit or a handwritten invoice, according to the Bills of Exchange Act and the Uniform Commercial Codes and Federal Fair Credit Reporting Act and your state statutes. And we always put for lawful purposes. And a copy of a contract signed by both parties, therefore binding both parties. And also please provide me with a true and certified copy, not a photocopy of the original note. And we need to confirm the name of the individual who's duly authorized from your company. We always give them 10 days when it comes to their debts. If they don't respond within 10 days via recorded post, that means the debt did not exist in the first place or it has already been paid in full, and that they will have to cover the fee schedule for any damage that has been suffered. And then it goes on to state under a statement of facts, for the record, we wish to effect payment immediately. What is the sum certain on the penal funds? So those are the key words, is penal funds. And let them know that this affiant, you let them know you're an affiant. That makes you a person now, spoken word. The affiant is a national, and put your state. And let them know that we know you're under bankruptcy. I conditionally accept all the facts in the claim if the respondent can prove authority to make the presentments. I conditionally accept for value in return for value the presumption I have a duty to show cause for actions upon proof of claim that is not public policy of the United States to pay the debts at law, but instead to exchange consideration upon a dollar-for-dollar basis to discharge or offset the liability. Because it's a liability. These are liability notes. These are debt notes. And it gets deep. It gets deep. So this is what Davina Bay was getting into. So let them know what this says. Go on.
It says, a client is aware and knows that a certificate of live birth or your certificate of title is a bond that evidences title held by the depository trust company. The issuer has legal title. You have equitable title up until the partner up to the share equitable title with the United States or the SS5. And that actually creates the uppercase name. That's surety for the vessel. The vessel is the body and its evidence on application by length, weight, and footprints. A body manifested into the sea of commerce. The beneficiary is supposed to be me, myself, and I, but the depository trust company is at 55 Water Street, New York City, and operates both public and on the private side.
So basically, when you fill out that SS5, that creates your estate, the surety for the vessel. That makes you the surety for the vessel. It makes you a share partner with the DTCC. Makes you a share partner. Now, the reason why these debt dispute letters work, because if you look up under 31 USC 5118 D2, 31 USC 5118 D2, no one can ask for payment in specific amount. 31 USC 3123. Again, that's 31 USC 3123. There is no money, so no one can demand payment. The United States will discharge debt dollar for dollar. And then when you we go on and it goes pretty deep. It goes further. But let it be known under the IRS to go forward with the above mentioned. We need the account number under 26 USC 2032A. We need an employee affidavit under Title 5 USC 3333. And we need the registration under Title 22 USC 611 and 612. Now, the following documents are needed to move forward in these matters. All tax bond receipts. Again, all tax bond receipts, because that's evidence of a debt. If I owe you, I need all the tax bond receipts. And then I'm going to need the 1099 OID, the original issue discount in this case. And then I'm going to need the 1099A and the 1099C. Once it's stated, then what you say goes, and get it notarized. If you understand the bank signature, the medallion statement, go ahead and get it verified through your bank. Any letter, it doesn't matter. Do it with the letters too. Once you do this, make sure you attach a W-9 to this, because everything is taxes. They're acting under bankruptcy. Make sure you attach a W-9. This is requesting their EIN number. You did what you were supposed to do. You're following administrative remedies. They will not give you a remedy unless you follow the administrative remedies first. Now, the letter of rogatory, it I don't know if I got one right here. Oh yeah, we do. We got one. We got one for old Curtis. Under the letter of rogatory, it's under the Hague Convention, Title 18, 1781. And this is important because I'm just going to go through it a little bit. It breaks down exactly what the courts do. So I'm just going to go through it like it's me. I, Malik Kilam Bey, executive for the Don Kilam Trust, or your John Doe Trust, the Sister K Trust, to notice the court of my letter of rogatory and demand my name be cleared of the alleged criminal case for the reasons as set forth. This is why your criminal case needs to be cleared. I've learned that this alleged court has scheduled a cause claim against me. It is not really a court as per the Constitution of the United States, but rather a tribunal operated as a private corporation. I have learned of the fraud that goes on behind the scenes of these alleged criminal cases, which are really civil claims in equity, and the steps taken to securitize these civil claims without giving full disclosure to the people. I am hereby letting the court know that I am opting out of any contract and do not allow any documents regarding me or my Sister K Trust to be securitized and sold to any investor, etc. The fraudulent process is as follows. All cases are civil, though often fraudulently called criminal. The courts are operating under trust law, assuming the defendant is a descendant. After finding the alleged defendant guilty, the court clerk sells the judgment to the federal courts. Since the defendant is a descendant, the court officials consider themselves as a beneficiary. And before I go further, if you find this information valuable, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, give a thumbs up. Let us know on 100, smiley face, do something. Now, if you got some funds in your pocket, go to donkilam.com. You got some money on that card. You got some credits on that card. Let's do some credit. Let's do some exchanges of securities, you know? It's better to give than receive. What goes around comes around. I'm giving you information. So if you find it valuable, leave a donation of $1, $5, $10, $20, $100, $500, whatever you find it valuable.
Or how do you get one of these like Tom Ford clones? I thought you were giving those away.
If you want to talk to me directly and we can go in deep detail, look, become a member. DonKalam.com. Black Card member. DonKalam.com. Show you how to get the black card because it's deeper than this. This is elementary. This stuff can be given to the public very easily and being able to comprehend. You want to get on a deeper level? Hey, black card member. You find this elementary black card member. DonKalam.com. You just want to support the cause? Get some books. DonKalam.com.
Black card members are getting some of those colognes.
We got Tom Ford cologne on deck. On deck all day, every day. We got Gucci on deck too and Versace. But the Tom Ford's where it's at. That's the private collection. If you find it valuable, go to donkalam.com/donate. That's donkalam.com/donate. The Cash App is MoreBeauty7, MoorBeauty7. The PayPal is booking, BOOKING, at donkalam.com, DONKILAM.com. You can call or text me directly at 407-274-5161. But it's always private members first, man. And we are backed up and booked up. So drop them donations if you really want to talk to us, man. We're also doing coaching calls. Now, back to the letter of rogatory. Study groups, divinenationals.net every last Friday and Saturday. Don't want to miss that. It's $25 a month. We do the prosperity pot giveaways for Friday and Saturday. This month's winners were Tiffany Soupville. She's called Say Say on here.
Say Say. Shout out Say Say.
Shout out to Say Say. And shout out to James Walker III. He didn't even know that he was the winner. He didn't even attend the study group, but he was still a winner. We're not going to stray him away from what's his because prosperity is your birthright. That's divinenationals.net. Now, when a judge asks if a person understands, he or she is asking if the person is liable for the bond. So, do you understand your charge? Is this making a little sense to you now? So, when the judge asks, this is in the letter of rogatory. When the judge asks if a person understands, he or she is asking, is the person liable for the bond? I'm not responsible for the bond of this case or these cases, but I will appoint the judge as my trustee or fiduciary and be the beneficiary of all the proceeds. And ignorance is no excuse of the law. Remember that. Now, the judgments are stamped with something to the effect of paid to the order of on the back and taken to the federal discount window. The judgment now becomes a note. The notes are then pulled together and then become securities, which are yet pulled together and sold as bonds. Said bonds are liens against me. The United States Attorney's Office has put a code number, North American Identification Security Classification, the NAICS. The said NAICS number enables the United States Attorney's Office to trade globally on all securities. So now they can trade it to China. Now, all U.S. federal courts are registered with the DOD, the Department of Defense, which they are registered with the CCR, which is the Contract Central Registration. Under the DOD, which another department called DLIS, all alphabet boys, I'm trying to tell you, the Defense Logistic Information Service, which issues a cage code, which means a commercial and government entity. That's a cage code, a commercial and government entity, which everything corresponds with their bank account. These said United States Attorney's Office and courts have a DUNS number, Dun and Bradstreet. Everything filed into court is securitized without the knowledge or consent of the people or of all parties. The so-called United States credit is backed upon the credit of the people. Our criminal cases not heard in the Article 3 court, District Court of the United States, are really civil. However, the courts again commit fraud by labeling the cases as criminal. All cases which are pled out or have a guilty conviction label a civil defendant through unlawful conversion as felons when they are not. This is fraud upon the people at large and certainly fraud upon the alleged defendants. The bank account is a Federal Reserve Bank of New York in New York City. The depository agreed is signed by the clerk of court. All securities are then deposited with the DTC in New York. An escrow agent is used as a go-between the clerk's office and the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. The securities end up being listed through the 7th Circuit, Chicago, Illinois, and then sent to the DTCC, the clearinghouse, whom lists the securities for trading. All the lawyers involved are acting as private debt collectors, according to the FDCPA Title 15/1692. The Bar Association exempt them from having to be registered as such. However, they operate through call warrants, which are like a put or a call. Doing margin calls is where they convert a case through, similar to a writ of execution. And they use the case number to buy equity securities. Everything filed into court is securitized and turned into negotiable instruments and then turning them into securities. These items are sold, commercial items, calling them distress debts under the Unifund. The items are then pulled together in what is now called a hedge fund, where they are sold globally. Anytime when there is a risk management involved, it is for the securities. This is an underwriting company. When the hedge funds are going into the global market, they go through Lure Herms, a bondholder, an underwriting company and subdivision of Alliance SE of Munich. How you say that? Munich, Germany. And these are PIMCO bonds. PIMCO. Told you they real pimps. Now after, PIMCO.
Sound like pimps. Pimpsco?
PIMCO.
Pimp company?
After 9 months, all papers converted into a security status. It takes 9 months. And this is defined into Title 1577 AB1 and now considered to be an investment contract. The paper is endorsed to become a security and the trust is then collapsed. They collapsed the trust that they created. The court creates a whole new trust because this is how they fund it. They need you to fund this trust that they're creating. The courts have an account with the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, under Interpol. The judges involved and the U.S. attorneys involved do not have an accessible oath of office because they cover up the fact that the oath of office is between them and the IMF. So know this. So now that we're under martial law, know that all orders will be coming directly from Interpol. A lot of people don't understand this, but that's what it is. All security will be directed through Interpol. Now, the U.S. judges and U.S. attorneys are actually employees of the IMF and have expatriated out of the United States. They are now unregistered foreign agents under Title 22, which states all foreign agents must be registered, but they're unregistered foreign agents. Now, the court judgments are deposited with the IMF. Since this case obviously involves me, I have a drawing right to all proceeds. See UCC 3-305 and UCC 3-306. The court judgments are monopolized according to Title 16, which is a violation of antitrust laws and also unfair trade and practices. Then you can put a motion. Let me stop for a second because I'm going to go to another. A lot of people don't understand that anytime a court... So now that if you're still following me, if people are still listening, because I don't know, I'm not checking. I haven't checked to see if people are even still live with me. Are you still out there, world? Are you still out there? Are you still following? Are you understanding what's going on? I hope so. I'm hoping I'm not getting too technical with you right now. I hope I haven't lost you. I hope you're still with me. I got a motion for proceeds though. I was gonna see if I can pull it up for you. It's called a motion to withdraw the proceeds. Here it goes. This is it. This is directly from them too. This is on their stuff. You see it? Mm-hmm. So when you have a judgment, you put in there, I'm the movement. A motion to withdraw funds in the court's registry. There are currently funds on deposit in the registry of the court that are being held for my use and benefit in accordance with terms and provisions of the judgment which was entered in this case. and then you put the case number. And that's basically what it is. A lot of people don't understand that. So once you start learning this, that's what it is. After 36 months, they're going to issue the 1099A, and they're going to acquire those funds. It takes 36 months to acquire it. Indictments are true bills, meaning they are negotiable instruments. The district court failed to give me a 1099 OID showing me as the recipient of the funds, which is a fraud upon me in my case. I have not been indicted, but still request a 1099 OID unless the court wishes to close this account. And that's for court too. Give me the 1099 OID in the accounting matter showing me that I'm the recipient of the funds. Who's the recipient of the funds? If you mention that on the court record, they're going to dismiss it. The unlawful funds through fraud and deception are deposited in the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, and they have not paid the tax on this income according to the IRC. This is 7201 of Title 26 violation. Willful failure to file with the intent to evade the tax. Woo-wee. Now, a copy of the depository resolution agreement was not made available to me from the clerk of court. The clerk of court makes deposits into the Federal Reserve Bank of New York via electronic funds transfer, or the EFTs. The clerk has a PMIA, a private money investment account, which also has a government code. According to the clerk's praxis, the clerk of the U.S. District Courts is the Register in Admiralty. According to IRS Code 6209 Decoding Manual and the ADP Automated Data Processing Manual, all 1099s are Class 5 gift and estate taxes. I'm asking for a 1099 OID in this case as I'm not willing to gift you the proceeds. I'm hereby asking for the proceeds in their entirety, including interest. You have to understand your name is a trust company. It is an estate. It is a corporation that's generating income and profit. I have never pledged my rights or my body to any gifting program, including any court or court process. You must know everything's a program, from your TV screen to your court programs. The probation board is a program. Did you finish your drug court program?
Your parenting program, your anger management program.
The lady says she opened the door because they said it was a program.
Yeah.
A safety program that was going to lock her old ass up. Excuse my language though, but that's messed up. It's messed up. She said she even had a chain on the door. She had the chain on the door at first.
She had the chain on the door. She peeked in like, yeah, how can I help you? And they sold her. They sold her to letting her come right on in.
She told them it wasn't hers and she never inhaled. And they still locked her up. I am not a charitable organization. You're considered a charitable organization. So this is how Patrick Devine breaks it down. This is why I say is wise to know this. Open you up a trust bank, LLC bank. Open you up a non-profit organization, and then set your foreign estate up, your foreign 9A up. This is what they do. They're foreign agents. They're foreign corporations. And you're gifting stuff to them. You're gifting it from your estate as a charitable organization. I demand all funds from the case, current and past cases, be sent to me within 30 days, or I will file complaints to the IRS and SEC explaining the fraud and theft committed upon me and issue a 1099 OID. And this is what you must do. I demand my name and my Cesta K Trust name be removed from any and all government databases, including bad credit, commercial liens, and or titles of criminal felon and or convicted felon be removed immediately and permanently, nunc pro tunc. Look up that word, nunc pro tunc, from the beginning of time, because time don't exist, it's always now. I hereby request a copy of the depository resolution agreement from the clerk of courts and a W-9 from the judge and the U.S. attorney involved if you wish to proceed with this case. And attach the W-9. Blank, don't fill nothing out. I hereby notice that the court that I am the executor of the Cesta K Trust. Put your all caps name. According to Title 26-303 and Title 7701. Companies, corporations, and associations and trusts are all descendants. This means my all capital letter name is a legal estate. My all capital letter name falls into this class. I direct all the affairs and financial affairs of my straw man name. I demand this case account be closed and no further steps taken to securitize it. And you can state that always on the record, always. All my rights are preserved. And I demand this case account be closed and no further steps taken to securitize it. I do not consent to this being securitized. I hereby ask the courts to notify local agents and agencies to put me on a do not disturb list so we do not have to go through this again. I am confident that the court and its officers want to follow the law and perhaps were unaware of the process of civil and criminal cases. I expect no further harassment from rogue, unregistered foreign agents. And then you get it notarized or signed and dated as an authorized representative and tell them where to mail your checks.
So when it comes to them being unregistered foreign agents, that's when I like to bring up the foreign agent registration statement. Like, they are supposed to have that on file because they are foreign. They don't have that on file, so that's another violation because they are supposed to have it on file. When you demand it, if they can't present it, they're in violation.
And that's what I got for you guys today, man. Learn trust law. Treasury Guide to Seized Property. Don't know why that popped up. That's another good book. Should sell y'all guys that. Foreclosed property. I feel like it's easy to get. You can go after a bank-owned property because who's going to fight you? Who's going to show up to court?
Nobody's going to show up to court when you go after something that the bank owns.
When you sit in these when you sit in these dispute letters, they're not going to show up. They're not going to show up. They're not. As always, like I said, leave a donation. You find this information valuable. You need one-on-one coaching. Become a private member at donkilam.com, DONKILM.com. We got the code up for the 50% off everything on donkilam.com. And the code is 976-430-LA. Again, that's 976-430-LA. I'm coming to a city near you. Look at the scheduled events. We're traveling. We're coming to a city near you. We're about to go on tour. Spread the peace and love to everybody, man. And be sure to sign up for DivineNationals.net study group last Friday and Saturday every month. A peace and love to everybody that's showing us love for the group is such big success. And I appreciate that. We appreciate the love. Davina Bay's doing her thing. Freestyle Fridays and Structure Saturdays. That's how we doing it. Sign up. Stephen A said, I'm not in the black tonight. Yeah. I went golfing today, man. I went golfing today. 100 degrees. It was 100 degrees outside. I went golfing today. You feel me? Like I said, I've been working on my swing. I know how to play a little baseball, so I'm trying to take it into golf. I'm a natural, man. And this is the best time to build with very powerful people is during golfing. For real. Build with some very powerful people, man. Much peace and love. Go to donkilam.com. That's DONKILM.com, man. You can call or text me directly at 407-274-5161, man. Peace and love. Like I said, check out the ebooks. If anything, man, pick you up an ebook for $2, man. $3, get you one, man. Behold the Pale Horse is one of my favorites. Let you know what's going on during martial law times, and that's really what's going on right now. So you want to read that and see why it's important not to really trap where you lay your head at. So if you're staying at her house that you have your address on file and you're doing this paperwork, I would never do that. But make sure you got access to your mailing locations always. He said, where do you send your GSA forms? You send them to the courts. Where you send to the clerk of courts. See, you do stuff with the clerk first in the courts. That's the bank. I know it sounds crazy, but that's the simple stuff. You got to understand. Bench means bank. The clerk is the real person in charge of any court. It's always the clerk because they're handling the money. It's all about money.
They make it so simple that people think it's complicated. Like, it's really just as simple as just fill out this little form, fill out this form, fill out that form, and boom, you're done. But you just have to have a understanding and an overstanding of of the words and the definitions and the terms, and you feel me? You just gotta have the understanding of that.
Once they have your birth certificate, say you give the clerk your birth certificate, that's the defendant because that's the bond. You understand your charge? Yeah, here it is. Here's the birth certificate.
And if they try to give you the birth certificate back, do not take it. Do not be like,
Any-
it's not mine. It's not
Anyways,
mine.
they accepted it anyway as soon as they took it.
Yeah, so don't accept it back.
Yeah, that's what I got for y'all, man. It's getting late. Where I'm at, it is 1:30 a.m. We pulled a late night tonight. We've been up kicking it. About to smoke another bleed to go to bed. Let y'all know that prosperity is your birthright. Let y'all know this stuff is real, man. This stuff is real. That's titanium, baby. Titanium, real deal, Holyfield. That's what it's all about. Black Card, unlimited credit. We're coming to rebuild. We're looking to build schools. That's what it's all about, for real, man. Rebuild your mind. Everything starts with your mind first. Prosperity is your birthright. Like I said, like, subscribe, share. The IG is Don_Kilam, Don_Kilam, Kilam. The Facebook is Ali Malik Kilam Bey. I'm not on the Facebook too much, but I do posts and lives there. Malik Kilam Bey, Malik Kilam Bey. This is what we do. Much peace and love to the people. I love y'all. Rest well. Have a great week. And just remember, prosperity